Have you ever noticed your cat doing something strange? Something you couldn't explain? And just assumed they were being quirky? The sudden closeness, the staring, the way they appear in doorways and won't leave a room you're in. It's easy to brush off. Cats are unpredictable, right? But what if those exact behaviors aren't random at all? What if your cat is quietly sounding an alarm? Because here's what most owners never realize. Cats don't just bond with you. They monitor you. And when something feels wrong, even something you haven't noticed yet, they respond. Miss those signals, and you're missing the most honest conversation your cat will ever try to have with you. Let's start with the one that happens in plain sight, every single day, and almost nobody catches it. 1. They plant themselves in your path on purpose. Have you ever walked into a room and practically tripped over your cat? They weren't there a moment ago. Now, they're sitting directly in your way, staring up at you like they have something urgent to say. Most people assume it's territorial, the cat claiming a prime spot, or angling for a meal. A lot of owners just step around them without a second thought. But here's what's really happening. Behavioral researchers studying how domestic cats respond to changes in their owners have documented something specific. Cats who are anxious about a person's well-being engage in deliberate proximity seeking, a pattern of positioning themselves exactly where they're hardest to ignore. It's not random. It's strategic. They're putting themselves in your path because they need you to stop. This connects to attachment research conducted at Oregon State University, where scientists confirmed that cats form caregiver bonds remarkably similar to the ones human infants form with parents. When a bonded person begins moving differently, speaking less, or pulling inward, the cat's nervous system registers a disruption. The blocking behavior is their response, a way of forcing a moment of contact close enough for them to gather real information about you. That's not clumsiness. That's your cat refusing to let you disappear into whatever is pulling you away from them. And stay with me, because later in this video, we're going to look at what happens when your cat's concern reaches its highest level, when all the quiet signals have gone unanswered. What they do next is the behavior most owners misread as aggression, and it's actually the opposite. 2, they watch your face instead of the room. Have you ever caught your cat staring, not at the window, not at a sound, not at anything you can identify, just at your face, completely still, eyes tracking you without blinking? Most people find it slightly unnerving and assume their cat wants something. Food, most likely. The gaze gets ignored, the owner looks away, and the moment passes. But here's what most people don't realize. Cats are built to read their environment through motion and sound. They are peripheral hunters by design. Sustained, focused attention on a human face is not their default mode. When a cat locks onto your face and holds there, they've shifted out of ambient scanning and into something more deliberate. They're reading you, looking for the small signals your face broadcasts when something is wrong, the tension that settles around your eyes, the stillness that replaces ordinary expression when a person is carrying something heavy. Research out of Oakland University found that cats behave differently around owners showing signs of emotional distress versus owners who are calm and relaxed. And the effect wasn't just about tone of voice. Visual cues from the owner's face independently changed how the cat acted. Your cat has been watching your face long enough to learn what your baseline looks like. When it changes, they notice before you've said a single word. That's not a blank stare. That's your cat reading a language you didn't know you were speaking. And here's the part that matters even more. What your cat does once they've decided something is genuinely wrong goes beyond watching. One behavior in particular looks like a sudden mood shift, and most owners respond to it in exactly the wrong way. We're almost there. And hey, if this is already changing the way you see your cat right now, hit that like button and subscribe. That's how we get these videos to more cat owners who want to understand what their cat has been trying to tell them all along. 3. Their purring sounds different. And it should. Have you ever heard your cat purr and felt like something was slightly off about it? Not the loose rolling sound they make when they're stretched out in a warm spot. Something lower, a little rougher, a little more persistent. Most people hear purring and feel instantly reassured. The cat is happy. Everything is fine. Some owners find it comforting during a hard day without ever wondering why their cat started purring in the first place. But purring is not a single emotion with a single sound. It's a vocal tool cats use across a wide emotional range, including worry. Researchers studying cat vocalizations have identified something called the solicitation purr, a purr that carries a subtle, higher frequency signal embedded within it, one that activates a human caregiver response almost below the level of conscious awareness. Beyond that specific variation, behaviorists have observed that cats in close contact with a distressed or unwell owner will sustain a low, directed purr for extended periods, maintaining sound and physical proximity together. What makes this even more layered is that cat purrs typically fall within a frequency range that some researchers believe may support physical calming and tissue recovery, though the evidence for direct therapeutic effects in humans is still emerging. Whether cats understand this, or whether it's instinctive behavior shaped over thousands of years of living alongside us, no one can say with certainty. What is documented is that the purring increases. It becomes pointed. It's aimed at you. That's not your cat serenading the furniture. That's your cat sitting beside you and doing the only healing thing they know how to do. 4. They stop sleeping where they usually sleep. Has your cat ever abandoned their usual sleeping spot? The one they've used for months? The one that's practically shaped itself around them? And started appearing somewhere new? Somewhere closer to you, maybe. Somewhere with a direct line of sight to wherever you spend most of your time. Most people notice and don't read it. They assume the cat got bored with the old location, or the light changed, or it's simply one of those inexplicable choices cats make. But here's what's really happening. Cats are creatures of micro-habit in ways most owners deeply underestimate. Their sleeping locations are not chosen casually. They're selected based on safety, warmth, and social proximity. And once a cat settles into a spot, they return because it represents a solved equation. When that changes, the equation changed first. A cat who relocates their sleep closer to you, specifically toward you, is not drifting. They're recalculating. Something about your recent patterns has been flagged by their nervous system as requiring closer monitoring. They're sleeping where they can register your breathing, track your movement, and be in immediate reach if anything shifts. Studies on feral cat colony behavior have shown that cats who hold protective roles within a social group position themselves physically between perceived threats and more vulnerable members. Domestic cats extend this same spatial logic to their human household. A cat who moves their sleeping position after a period of stress or illness in the home isn't exploring new real estate. They're moving their post. That's not your cat finding a new favorite spot. That's your cat deciding that wherever you are is more important than wherever they're comfortable. I need to be close enough to know you're okay. 5. They follow you into rooms they normally avoid. Is there a room in your home your cat has always given a wide berth? The one with the louder sounds? Or the one that's always busy? Or the one they simply mapped as outside their comfortable territory? And has there ever been a stretch of days when they started appearing there anyway, sitting just inside the doorway, watching you from the edge? Most people find it funny. They notice it, maybe even laugh at it, and file it away as one of those strange phases cats go through. But a cat avoiding a room is not passive. It's an active decision their nervous system renews every single time they bypass that threshold. Overriding it costs them something real. When a worried cat follows their owner into a space they've consistently avoided, they're making a direct trade. Your proximity matters more to them right now than their own ease. The discomfort of that room has become less alarming than losing their visual on you. Applied animal behaviorists who work with cats describe a hierarchy of competing drives: comfort-seeking, safety-seeking, and what's called attachment maintenance, the drive to stay connected to a bonded social partner. Under normal conditions, these drives rarely pull against each other. Under elevated concern for an owner's well-being, attachment maintenance can override physical comfort preferences entirely. The cat is not conquering their wariness of the room. They're suspending it because something more pressing has their attention. That's not your cat getting braver. That's your cat deciding that being near you matters more than being comfortable. 6. They give you the softest bite, and most owners punish them for it. Have you ever had your cat approach you during a quiet moment, no warning, no buildup, and give you the gentlest bite? Not a scratch, not an aggressive grab. Just a small, precise nip, usually on the hand or forearm, and then they pull back and look directly at you, waiting. Most people flinch. Some scold. Most assume overstimulation or unpredictable behavior and move on, chalking it up to cats just being cats. But this is the behavior I mentioned at the very beginning of this video, the one that looks like aggression and is actually the opposite. And it may be the most important thing your cat has ever done. Here's what's really happening. What your cat just gave you is a form of deliberate tactile contact that behavioral scientists have observed between deeply bonded cats. A controlled, intentional touch used not to threaten, but to reach. In feline social groups, a cat who makes gentle mouth contact with a bonded companion isn't playing and isn't warning. They are initiating the most direct physical signal their body allows. The bite is controlled to the point of leaving nothing behind, because the goal was never pain. The goal was response. They need to know you're here. They need you to look at them. And here's where it gets even deeper. Cats who have been watching you, repositioning themselves around you, following you into unfamiliar rooms. They have been trying to reach you for a while. Every earlier signal in this video is a quieter version of the same message. The blocking in the doorway, the unbroken gaze on your face, the change in where they sleep. Each one was your cat asking a question and not getting an answer. This bite, this tiny, almost imperceptible contact, is what comes after all of that. After everything else went unnoticed, they touched you. Research on feline social communication shows that this kind of gentle physical contact is distinct from predatory or defensive behavior. It appears specifically within bonded pairs, and some behavioral scientists believe it functions as a final layer attachment signal, used when visual and proximity cues haven't produced a response. It is not a malfunction. It is communication reaching its most direct, physical form. That's not aggression. That's your cat reaching out and touching you because they ran out of quieter ways to ask if you were okay. Think about what led to this moment. Your cat sat in your path. They studied your face for minutes without looking away. They moved their sleeping spot closer to yours. They walked into the room they've avoided for 2 years because you were in it. They pressed against you and purred in a low, directed frequency they reserve for moments like this. And when none of it reached you, when you kept moving through your day, carrying whatever you were carrying without once looking down, they did the only thing they had left. They touched you, and then you told them no. Your cat is not waiting to be fed or entertained or let outside. They are watching you. Your face, your patterns, the weight you carry without saying a single word. To your cat, you are not a caretaker. You are not simply the person who fills the bowl. You are the most important living thing in their entire world, and they have been quietly asking if you're okay for longer than you know. Maybe it's time to answer.